Throughout a lot of time, Dragon Ball has released a ton of movies. We have almost up to 30 Dragon Ball movies in total, give or take. We're going to be going over which Dragon Ball movies I think is the worst and which ones that I think is the best. If you guys are excited for this video, make sure you guys do leave a like down below. Let's see how many likes we can get to this time. And without further ado, let's get straight into this video. All right, bro, here is the tier list. Okay, so we do have like, I think like 4 movies or something like that. 3 or 4 movies that aren't on here. When we get to those movies at the end, I will like say what they are on screen and then I'll tell you my ranking for them. But this is basically it. We basically have every single Dragon Ball movie here apart from the 4. All right, so we're just going to start from the bottom one right here and then we're just going to work our way from left all the way up. So first we have Dragon Ball Z Wrath of the Dragons. Now this, oh my god, I love this movie. No, okay, now I know I'm a diehard Dragon Ball fan, but I'm not gonna be like, ooh, everything's perfect, everything's great, because Dragon Ball's had a few stinkers when it comes to movies. But specifically for Wrath of the Dragons, I really loved this movie. Now, early Dragon Ball Z movies didn't have much screen, they weren't long movies, meaning like they were like 50 minutes long or like 40 minutes long, something like that, give or take. But don't let that distract you. They're still really good, bro. Don't let that distract you. Wrath of the Dragons was really good. I really loved how dope Super Saiyan 3 was here. And not on top of that, Tapion was so freaking awesome, bro. He was so awesome, especially with the melody that he would play. I really enjoyed that melody. I think that's one of the very few melodies that I've actually enjoyed from Dragon Ball movies. And to top it all off, bro, the Dragon Fist was just so freaking amazing, bro. If you disagree, I think you're delusional, bro. The Dragon Fist was so freaking fire, bro. So I'm sorry, bro, but I gotta put Wrath of the Dragons in S tier, bro. It is such a goated movie. That movie is so freaking awesome. I freaking love that movie. Okay, next we have Dragon Ball Z, The World's Strongest. Now, this movie was a little... Now, this movie, like, it was okay. I just think the robot thing was really freaking stupid. I wasn't the biggest fan of the robot thing. I didn't think there was a lot of character behind that. And then, like, the scientist in that movie was just so freaking dead. Like... I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid, but from what I remember, it just wasn't the greatest movie in the world. It wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, like, like, movies is like, how do I say this? Like, they're just movies that I would never want to see again. Like, they're just the worst. I wouldn't mind seeing this again, but I prefer not to see it again, if that makes sense. So I'd put it in maybe, like, the E. I'd put it in the it's not good. It's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but yeah. Okay, next is Dragon Ball Z, The Tree of Might. This is the one with Turles, obviously. Obviously, all the early Dragon Ball Z movies aren't canon for all of you canon fans. But The Tree of Might, Turles was actually not that bad of a movie. I enjoyed it. I think that I would have personally have enjoyed seeing more from Turles. Like, I think, like, he should have been more, himself as a whole should have been more of a formidable opponent rather than just eating a freaking fruit or whatever the freak it was, and then he just got like millions of times stronger. And not only that, like, it's also a recurring theme in these Dragon Ball movies where it's like Goku is always the person that they're after, and it was just like, eh. The plot in a lot of these movies also mean a lot to me as well, and the plot for this was like on par with superheroes. Like, it was like not the great, like, okay, superheroes was a little bit better, but like this is just like a little bit lower than that. Like, I don't know, it was okay. It's just like, I like deep plot, you know what I mean? Like plot, like the Cell arc, for example, like deep plot that like it just keeps you thinking and you're just going back and forth with emotion. But no, for this movie, I'd put it in the I put it in the C tier. I'll put a C tier. It's not that bad. I'd watch it again. I'd watch it again. Okay, so next is Dragon Ball Z Return of the Cooler. Now, I love this movie. I loved this movie. I think this movie was great. I think this movie was awesome. I loved how Goku and Vegeta were teaming up. I loved this movie because this one was one of the movies that kept me going back and forth with my emotions. Like, it's that scene where like you see Goku and Vegeta and then like there's like a million freaking metal coolers, bro. Like, oh my gosh, bro. I look at that, I'm like, oh my god, they're effed. So this movie kept it kept making me go back and forth, and like knowing that the main enemy was related to Frieza, I feel like that adds a lot to the plot as well. And seeing really everybody get like their own screen time and it going back and forth with the fighting and stuff. And Vegeta was also a Super Saiyan during this time of the movie. This movie was good, bro. I'm not gonna lie, it was really good. I put it in the B tier. I would watch that movie again, and like I would sit through that movie, I would watch it, and I would really enjoy watching it. So I'd put that movie in the B tier. All right, Dragon Ball Z History of Trunks. Oh my gosh, I should put this in the F category because future Gohan died. All jokes aside, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the flashback. Okay, I enjoyed being able to sink into Trunks's timeline and see more of what it was like. I enjoyed seeing the most underrated version of Gohan. I will say it again, the most underrated version of Gohan in battle. And I really enjoyed obviously seeing the workup to, you know, where Trunks was to when he got to the present time where Goku and the others were. So I really enjoyed that. I think this movie was really, it was a good insight. I enjoyed the insight behind this movie. Would I watch this movie again? No, but that's just because I don't want to see Gohan die. But this movie was good, but I enjoyed it better than the Tree of Might. Like I would prefer to watch this movie than the Tree of Might movie. So I'll put this one like high C tier. Yeah, I'd put it high C tier. Yeah. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Super Android 13. Now, I love this movie. Straightforward. I loved this movie. Future Trunks in the movie, Vegeta and Goku being Super Saiyans, and then Piccolo being an absolute freaking whizzite. I loved this movie. This movie had a bit of everything. I enjoyed how they were continuing with the androids, and we were able to get a bigger picture of Dr. Gero's plans and stuff like that. Like, you can really tell how much Dr. Gero hated freaking Goku, bro. I loved how Goku absorbed the Spirit Bomb as a Super Saiyan, and I loved how he was able to keep his heart pure despite being a Super Saiyan with all the anger and, like, frustration in his heart, if that makes sense. So this movie, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I loved this movie. I loved it more than the Return of the Metal Cooler movie. I think I loved this movie a little bit more because we were able to see more of the characters, and I also love Future Trunks. Future Trunks is definitely probably my top 5 favorite characters. I love Future Trunks. Okay, next, following that movie, we have Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. Now, where am I gonna put this movie? Now, as you guys all may know, I think Super Saiyan Blue is the most boring transformation, seemingly because there was no build up to the transformation. It just happened, and Super Saiyan God didn't get as much shine as I would have hoped it would have gotten, if that makes sense. And I just feel like this movie was all over the place. I just feel like this movie could have been skipped, if that makes sense. I feel like they could have gotten Super Saiyan Blue another way that didn't involve Frieza. So I'm gonna say right now, I wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. Would I watch this movie? Would I mind watching this movie again? No, I wouldn't mind. I thought it was better than this movie, but I don't know. It was then the Whis turning back time because freaking Vegeta and Goku were being stupid, and then I guess the fight scenes were cool with Goku and Vegeta on Frieza. But I don't know, it just kept me going back and forth. I just wasn't the biggest fan of this movie. Okay, next we have Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug. Now, where am I gonna put this movie? Now, I think this movie was okay. The false Super Saiyan kind of made no sense to me. But again, it's a non-canon movie, so obviously it's not gonna make sense. I enjoyed sort of seeing a new Namekian and then going giant, and then there was a lot of back and forth with this, and the plot was okay. So for this movie, oh man, I'm sorry, but I gotta put you I'm sorry, I gotta put it in F. I probably wouldn't want to watch this again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I prefer not. You know what? No. Maybe I would watch it again. Yeah, I'd put it in E, but it's a low E thing. Yeah, I'd put a low E. But if someone if I'm at chilling on the couch with one of my friends, and then he's like, hey, let's watch Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug, I'm gonna be like, hey, let's watch Dragon Ball Super Broly. But no, it's okay. It's not that bad. False Super Saiyan got you hyped for the time, but now you just look back at it and you're just like, that's so stupid. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn. Now, this is a no-brainer. It's got to go in S tier, bro. This movie was freaking goated, bro. This movie was awesome. Freaking Gogeta in this movie against Janemba was awesome, bro. And the animation with Goku Super Saiyan 3 against Janemba is literally so freaking clean, bro. And that animation is like 20 plus years old, bro, and it's so clean. That animation just makes me want to cry. It's so good, bro. It's so good. But I enjoyed like the friendship that you can see Goku and Vegeta building at this movie, and that's why it was so awesome for me. Like I think the entire fight in Otherworld was just so good. Like I really enjoyed it. Okay, next we have Dragon Ball Evolution going in F. I'm not gonna explain that. Worst thing I've ever freaking seen in my life. I'm not gonna even put clips up on the screen. We're not even gonna waste another minute on this freaking movie. It was trash. Don't watch it. Okay, take it from me. Stay away from that movie. Let's go to the next one. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z. This is the Bardock movie, obviously. Now obviously this movie is non-canon, but it was cool to at the time to see more on Bardock and see what Goku's father was like and how he fared against Frieza. But it turns out the reason why Bardock sent Goku to Earth wasn't because he actually wanted him to destroy it. It's because he wanted to save Goku, because he had a feeling that, you know, Frieza was going to do something pretty messed up, which what did happening. So a little bit less to be desired in this movie, but it was actually not that bad. It was okay, but you know. So for this movie, let me think. I will put this movie probably in C tier. Yeah, I put it in C tier. I put it in C tier above the Turles movie. Wait. Above the Turles movie. Above. Okay, there we go. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the insight. Right, it's literally as similar as History of Trunks. Like I enjoyed the insight, and I enjoyed it was an enjoyable movie to watch, basically. But also the Bardock scene of Bardock dying also made me cry. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone. This is the one with Emperor Pilaf, I believe. I'm going to put it in E tier. I didn't really like Emperor Pilaf as a enemy or as a villain. It wasn't very good. But hey, I think it was okay. I think the actual fight scenes, and, you know, there's always something good to dig in when it comes to some Dragon Ball related content. And I think this does have a few pieces of that. But even Garlic Jr.'s transformation, just like when you see it in the anime, it's just like, I just didn't like Garlic Jr. I think Garlic Jr. was trash. If I was, especially another thing, that Dragon Ball adding Garlic Jr. is literally like the biggest filler in all of freaking anime. You literally can skip that. It is not canon. But I don't know. I just didn't like Garlic Jr. as a villain too much. So like, would I watch it again? Yeah, but I prefer to just watch other movies. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. Now this movie, it was pretty good, bro. I loved this movie. I loved seeing something related to Frieza again, and this was the first time we ever saw Cooler compared to the Metal Cooler movie. But I would have put this on par with the actual Metal Cooler movie. I really enjoyed this movie. And then we also got to see more of Piccolo in this movie. And that's partly why I probably enjoyed it a little bit more, because I also love Piccolo a lot. I love seeing Piccolo. And then seeing Cooler have a transformation, like Cooler's transformation was just so awesome as well. And then seeing how Super Saiyan fared against that transformation, like it really just made the legend of a Super Saiyan be more formidable, because I really, like, it really just showed you the levels of a Super Saiyan and why it was so legendary. And nowadays, you know, people just treat the regular Super Saiyan like a joke, but like it was really hard for it to it was really hard. It was a legend, bro. It was a legend, and I like how they really displayed that in this movie. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now this is the best animated movie I have ever seen in my life. I'm putting it in the highest of highest S tier. I think this is the best. Not only is this the best Dragon Ball movie that has ever been released, but I think it is the best anime. This is just my opinion. So all you Demon Slayer fans, get off my peen, okay? I think that Dragon Ball Super Broly is the best animated movie of all time. I don't care about Mugen Train. I don't care about all these One Piece movies. I don't care about Suzume or all that other garbage. I love Dragon Ball Super freaking Broly. I loved the plot of this movie. I loved the fight scenes. I loved Broly. I loved Gogeta. I loved the animation for this movie. I loved the soundtrack for this movie. This movie was literally a masterpiece. I loved Bardock in this movie. I loved Baby Goku. I loved Frieza in this movie. And I don't normally like Frieza, but I liked Frieza in this movie. This movie was freaking amazing. And then the way the movie ended off with Goku telling Broly to call him Kakarot, like, it was showing that Goku was living up to his Saiyan background again. Like, he was accepting the name Kakarot. Broly has always been one of my top 5 favorite villains in all of Dragon Ball, probably in top 3 as well. So seeing him be canon and seeing the way he was presented in Dragon Ball Super was just so awesome. I love that movie. Like, I don't think any Dragon Ball Super or any Dragon Ball related movie will come close to that movie. Speaking of Broly, we have the next 2 Broly movies. We have Dragon Ball Z Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan. Now, this movie was good. I'd probably put it in A tier. I'd still put it below Super Android 13. I enjoyed the Android 13 a little bit more. Like, a lot of you guys may call me crazy for that, but the thing is with the Broly movie here is it's just like I did not like how much of a coward Vegeta was. Like, Vegeta has never been a coward. Like, even if it was for a moron like Broly being a legendary Super Saiyan that Vegeta somehow knew about, I just didn't like how much Vegeta was being such a scared little freaking rat in that movie. It was so stupid. Like, oh my god, like if you can cut that part out of the movie, then I'd enjoy it a lot more, to be honest. But no, I enjoyed Goku versus Broly. I enjoyed seeing Gohan in that movie also be Super Saiyan. I enjoyed Future Trunks in that movie as well. I think the animation in that movie was really good. I also loved the plot of that movie. It was a good movie all around. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z. We were continuing with Broly. Dragon Ball Z Broly Second Coming. This is the one where Goku's dead and Gohan, Goten, and Trunks have to fight Broly along with Videl. Now, this movie was really good. I really enjoyed the family Kamehameha, the one with Goku, Gohan, and Goten. And even when Goku is dead, he just has his way of making really good appearances, and that's why it's so good. And when Goku does appear in this movie, I just think it is such a beautiful appearance. So honestly, this movie, I'd put it in A tier as well. I put it in A tier, but I did enjoy this Broly movie a little bit more than this one. And that's just because this one had more Goku, more Future Trunks as well, more Gohan, and like the fight scenes, in my opinion, were a little bit better. I just didn't really like how Gohan was in this movie that much, but it was still good. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z BoJack Unbound. Now, I loved this movie. I'm putting it in S tier, bro. I'm sorry, but I loved this movie. I loved BoJack as an actual enemy. I loved how BoJack being an enemy correlated to Goku defeating Cell. Like, the reason why BoJack was released was because he was sealed away in King Kai's planet. I loved seeing that plot in an actual villain. Not only that, but I also really liked how this movie was straight after the Cell arc. And not only that, Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan is my favorite Dragon Ball character of all time. Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan is literally legendary to me. I love Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. And I think Super Saiyan 2 Gohan being in Goku's gi in this movie was awesome as well. I loved the little Gohan and Goku moment that was in the movie when Goku comes to save Gohan. This movie was literally a masterpiece as well, bro. No questions asked. This movie was a masterpiece. Early Dragon Ball Z movies, like I said earlier, they weren't as long, but for the 40 minutes or 50 minutes of screen time that they were actually having, it was so good. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly. I'm putting that in F tier. I don't want to see that movie ever again. I think Bio Broly was a stupid enemy. All right, next we have Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Now, I loved this movie. I'm putting it in S tier. I'm sorry. I'm putting it in S tier. I loved Super Saiyan God. First off, I love Super Saiyan God. I loved the introduction of Beerus and Whis in this movie. I love the moment where we see Beerus literally just clap Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and like that literally just shows you the levels that Beerus is literally just another beast. I loved the next level that Goku was going to, that he was going from a legend to a freaking god. So that was really cool to see as well. I also love that moment where where Bulma got slapped and Vegeta momentarily surpassed Goku. And above all of this, I loved the fight with Goku and Beerus. Like that scene where like Goku says like, "I will not let you destroy my world," or something like that. Like that, oh my god, that was just so good as well, bro. Literally, it was so awesome. Okay, next we have this Bardock movie. Wait. Oh, maybe this was the Bardock movie where he went Super Saiyan. Okay, so this movie goes here. This movie goes somewhere else. This movie goes like, okay, this movie, oh my gosh, like I don't even know how to say this. Like honestly, I'll put it in D tier then, because like, okay. Now don't get me wrong, this movie wasn't a trash movie. It's just like they were just trying to make Bardock seem relevant, and like I like transformations in Dragon Ball, but I don't really like them when they're so forced, you know what I mean? And in this movie, it was just one of those movies where the Super Saiyan transformation was just forced, you know? Like they literally probably made this movie because they thought it would have been cool for Bardock to be seen as a Super Saiyan, but really it looked really freaking stupid. And like this idea of like, what if Goku's dad survived? Like, I don't really feel like there's any purpose or meaning in that, right? Like that really takes away a lot from the actual Dragon Ball storyline. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in D tier. I think it was a cool movie. I think it was fun to see. I enjoyed seeing Bardock actually turn Super Saiyan and defeat an enemy that was sort of related to Frieza. But like as a whole, like I don't think the movie itself was very good. All right, next we have this movie, the Dragon Ball GT movie. I'm putting that in F tier. I don't ever want to see that movie again. Don't worry, trust, just take it from me. You don't want to see that movie, okay? These ones in F tier, just don't watch them. You can happily watch Dragon Ball without watching these 3 movies. I promise. I give you my word. All right, apart from this, we do have like 4 other Dragon Ball movies that aren't on here, starting with the ones where Goku was a kid. There was 3 Dragon Ball movies where Goku was an actual kid from the original Dragon Ball franchise. Now, I'll show exactly what all 3 of those movies are right now on screen so you can see it. I'm not going to say the actual names because I'm pretty sure the names are in Japanese. But I'm not going to show too much on them because I guarantee a lot of Dragon Ball fans haven't really seen them. But if you haven't, I really suggest you actually go watch all 3 of them. But for these movies, I would put all 3 of them in the same ranking. I would put them all in the C tier ranking. Aside from that, there's also another Dragon Ball Z movie where like Goku is going to like the past with Trunks and like they're on the time machine early in Dragon Ball Z. Now that movie was okay for the comedy. I would honestly put that movie in D tier as well with the Bardock movie. And lastly, the last and final and latest movie from Dragon Ball that was released, Dragon Ball Superhero. Call me crazy, but I'd only put that movie in the B tier. I didn't really like the pacing of the movie too much. There was never really a big villain in that movie apart from Cell Max. And knowing me, like I like when my villains have a lot of character development and there's a lot to them. Like Cell Max doesn't say a single word and there's nothing behind him. He's just meant to be a killing machine that is meant to be a reincarnated Cell. So I didn't really like any of the villains in Dragon Ball Superhero. To be quite frank with you, the only thing I really did enjoy about Dragon Ball Superhero was Beast Gohan. I absolutely love the form of Beast Gohan. I loved seeing Beast Gohan do the special beam cannon. I also really loved that scene of Gamma 2 like up in freaking outer space and he's like rushing down on Earth to freaking charge at Cell Max. And above all of that, I also really enjoyed the scenes with Goku and Vegeta and Broly when they're at Whis and Beerus' planet. But no, that's basically it. That's all I have for you guys today. That's all of the movies. That's my tier list right here. I'll leave a link to this tier list down in the description below for all of you guys that may want to do this as well. Let me know what you guys think about my tier list. Let me know what you guys would rank your Dragon Ball movies. But yeah, that's basically all I have for today. I hope you guys stay safe. Peace out.
Hey, it's me, Goku. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to hit a like and subscribe button so you can be updated for all the new content PBL Gaming makes. See ya!